Hey there, I'm Jeff with The Simple Dollar, and today we're talking about how big your down payment should be when you buy a car, whether it's new or used. So if you enjoy the video and you find it helpful and you get something out of it, we would really appreciate a thumbs up. We put this out there for free, and you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're gonna roll out a ton more videos related to personal finance. And if you didn't know, our website, thesimpledollar.com, it's been around for like 15 years. We have helped literally millions of people with personal finance questions. So whether it's insurance, banking, loans, credit cards, all of that stuff, we have articles about pretty much everything. And when it comes to this topic specifically, the down payment on your car, we do have a full guide that goes over how much you should be putting down. We even talk about insurance rates. We talk about buying and selling a car. So there's a lot of information for you to check out down below in the description. So when it comes to the down payment on your car, how big should it be? I think that's a pretty simple but vague question. And naturally, the answer is just as simple and vague thanks to the input from our legal department. And that is that the down payment should be big enough that it yields an affordable monthly payment and a decent interest rate. Now I know that's not terribly specific or helpful, but towards the end of the video, I will talk about some percentages in terms of what you should be putting down on your car. For now, there are three main things that I want to cover. Number one, why you should be making a down payment. I think just generally speaking, there are a lot of people that are confused on what a down payment is and why you would actually make a down payment. So we'll cover that pretty briefly. And then two, I want to cover how you calculate your down payment. So those are the percentages that I was talking about earlier. And then number three, what are some down payment alternatives that maybe can save you some money? And like I said before, there is a full article on our website about this topic. If you're on our website, it's just a little bit down the page. And if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be listed down below in the description. Okay, so why would you make a down payment? There are a few reasons, but I think probably the biggest reason is that you want a lower rate on your loan. So typically, when a lender looks at how risky you are as a borrower, there are a couple of factors, one of which is your credit score, and another one is how much you're putting down on the car. So if you're not putting down any money, you're seen as being more risky because you have no, quote unquote, skin in the game. You haven't put down any money toward that vehicle. The more money you put down, the more serious the lender knows you are about maintaining the car and not getting in an accident. So if you put down more money, they will typically give you a more favorable rate. So if you do have lower credit, you can increase your down payment and thereby get probably a lower interest rate on that loan. So ultimately, you want to have both of those things, right? A really nice credit score and then also a pretty hefty down payment if you want a lower interest rate. But let's say you have lower credit. Now we talk about that a lot on our website, but let's say you have a credit score of below 600, usually you're gonna get a pretty high rate for your auto loan. But if you increase your down payment, you can usually drive down that rate because again, you're becoming less risky of a borrower. And by the way, if you wanna see current auto loan rates right now, we have a whole chart on our website. I'll link that for you down below in the description. That way you can see, what best fits your personal situation. And if you are somebody that has a lower credit score, it's probably not best to just go straight to the dealer. You'll get a much higher rate. You usually want to look for a lender that specializes in loaning money to people with a lower credit score. And I do believe we have some guides on our website about that, and I'll try to link those in the description. And another reason to make a down payment is that it limits the overall interest that you'll pay because you're financing less of the vehicle. So the more you put up front, the smaller the loan, and therefore the less overall interest that you're going to end up paying over the life of that loan. And another important reason to make a down payment is that you want to offset depreciation. So the general concept here is that you'll have a gap or a difference between what you owe on the car and what it's worth if it's totaled in an accident. Without a down payment, you could end up owing the lender money for a car that's now worthless. This is a big reason that we oftentimes recommend people look into gap insurance. We have a full guide about that on our website, but it can help mitigate some of the risks there. All right, the second thing I want to cover is how to calculate your down payment. Again, the percentages that I was talking about before. So for a used car, a good rule of thumb is about 10% down. So if the car is $30,000, you're going to be putting down $3,000 up front. Now for new cars, it's about 20%. So if you're buying a car again for $30,000, you want to put down about $6,000 up front. Also, you might consider a higher upfront payment if you have a shorter term loan, and that will limit how big those monthly payments are. So the more money you put up front, the smaller those payments are if it's only a 2 or a 3 year loan. Now, if you have a longer term loan, obviously the value of the vehicle is being spread out over more payments, so you can tend to put down just a little bit less upfront. So those are some general rules of thumb when you go to buy a vehicle. About 10% down for a used car, about 20% down for a new car. Now I want to talk about a few down payment alternatives because you can potentially save some money. So probably the most popular down payment alternative is to trade in a vehicle. And the idea here is simple. Instead of putting down as much cash up front, you trade in your existing vehicle, you come to an agreed upon price with the dealer, and that value goes against the amount of money you're putting down on the vehicle. So if you do trade in a vehicle, typically your upfront costs will be lower because you're sort of paying in a different method, paying with an existing vehicle and some with cash. So I think that's a really creative way that a lot of people end up saving money over the long term and with their upfront payment. Rebates are another way that you can offset your upfront costs. So typically they're not going against your down payment, it's against the total value of the vehicle. So if it's a $1,000 rebate, instead of being $30,000, the car is $29,000. And instead of being $3,000, your upfront payment is like $2,900. So it's not always offered. Some dealerships do offer it, but it can be a clever way to save a little bit of money. So that's what you need to think about when you're making a down payment on a car. Hopefully you found the video helpful and enjoyable. If you do have anything constructive, we'd love to hear from you. Write us down below in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and you can always subscribe to our channel for more personal finance videos. And like I have said a million times, we have all sorts of other articles and helpful guides on our website, thesimpledollar.com. Have a great day.